All right, so congratulations. You finished part one of the hybrid video sales letter. This is part two, which is video number 8. And we're going to be talking about the technology and video conversions bump. Basically, bumping your conversions up by using technology. So now that you have the video sales letter, of course, the written part, it's easy to take that and turn it into a video sales letter in terms of different types of videos like cartoons, whiteboard sales videos. You've probably seen a lot of those, and many of those convert really, really well. It just really depends on your product. And in the next video after this, I'm going to show you different times where you should use screen capture video. Sometimes I just use screen capture video and that's it. But it really depends on you and your product and service as to what you should be using. So I'm going to share with you different routes that you can take in terms of the services and the software that you can use to create these types of videos. And of course, the process of going about doing that. So let's move on and let's go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so before I actually jump in and show you what kind of tools that you can use to create whiteboard videos, to create cartoon videos, and so forth, the first thing that I typically do is I take the sales letter that I have written, as you can see here, and what I do is I go through and I highlight key words that really need to be emphasized. Now, when I go through here, announcing a brand new 9-part video course, I'll highlight it. And if it's an image or it's something that I need to do on the screen, like a whiteboard screen, I'll put in parentheses the image name and or scene. So essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a storyboard so that when we hand this off to somebody else to create the videos, or we do it ourselves, we know exactly what needs to happen when. So are we going to use this as a word, or are we going to use an image to signify what we are saying as we're saying it on the sales letter script itself? So that's what I first do. I go through the whole sales letter, as you can see here, and I bold the words that are important and that need to be emphasized. Once you do that, then you can hand it off either to do it yourself, or you can hand it off to somebody else that would do it for you. And that way they know, okay, for this word here, when you say this word here, a specific image needs to show up, or a specific scene needs to be produced. Let's say, for example, that as you're talking, this statistic here is being created as a scene in your cartoon video or in your whiteboard video. So what I would do is I would highlight this and put in parentheses what exactly that scene should look like. Does that make sense? That makes your life a lot easier rather than just jumping on in, trying to set up the whiteboard video or cartoon video or even a screen capture video. This just makes your life a lot easier. All right, so moving on, let's talk about the software tools that you can use in application to the written sales letter. You can either do it yourself or you can hire somebody. But my recommendation, as somebody who has done this before, I generally outsource this process because it's a very, very tedious process. And if you're not familiar with doing it, the end results and the quality that is being produced may not be as good of a quality compared to somebody else who actually knows how to do this. Besides screen capture video using Camtasia, there are 3 different tools that I personally use and would recommend. The first one allows you to create whiteboard videos and it's called Sparkle, and it's created by VideoScribe. And if you go to videoscribe.co, that's videoscribe.co, you will get this page. And it is a paid product. You can start their free 7-day trial, check it out for yourself. But basically the way that VideoScribe works is allows you to pull in like images, text, and stuff like that, and you'll see a hand and whiteboard basically drawn out on a whiteboard. So technology is powerful, but unless you have the written sales letter and all that done, then none of this would actually make sense to do. So VideoScribe is definitely the #1 tool for whiteboarding in terms of sales videos. And what I found over the years is what works better is if you mix and match it. So if you have a whiteboard video and mixed in with PowerPoint, mixed in with Keynote, or even mixed in with screen capture, it just makes it more interesting because you have different kind of camera angles and stuff like that, different mediums in a video. Makes it interesting and appealing and so forth. So that's VideoScribe. The second tool that I would recommend if you want to go the cartoon route is Powtoon. If you go to Powtoon, powtoon.com, you can easily create these really cool videos that are cartoon-based videos. Now you'll notice a lot of big companies tend to use these types of videos. Now you need to know your audience, but for the most part, whiteboard videos and cartoon videos convert like crazy, mainly because cartoon videos really take somebody's guard down because they feel like they're watching a cartoon. Or whiteboard videos, when they're watching it, it reminds them of the days that they were in college or the days that they were in high school and so forth. It doesn't really feel like somebody is really selling to them. And that's why with the hybrid video sales letter and applying whiteboard videos, the whiteboard technology, the cartoon technology, that can really bump up your sales. So if we go to Powtoon.com, you can actually get an idea of what it looks like. So you can create animated videos and presentations. And if you click on play here, you can actually get an idea of what this looks like. So you can use graphs, you can do a lot of different things. And what this does is it helps reach the visual and kinesthetic audiences. Not just the auditory audiences, but the visual and kinesthetic audiences. All right, so there are many different cartoon services out there and whiteboard video services out there, but I personally have used these. So VideoScribe is good, Powtoon is great, and another one, the third one, this is great for presentations. If you want something that is a little bit more interactive than PowerPoint, then this is a way to go. Prezi is really easy to use. They have a lot of templates that you can just plug and play and use them. But this just basically just makes things a little bit more interesting and interactive. So I use those 3 tools myself, and with Prezi, and then of course here, what I recommend is you hand these 3 tools over to somebody else who knows it. So that way you can focus on your business, you can focus on marketing your business, and more. What I found over the years is most people want to do it themselves, and that's fine. But you end up spending, weeks or even months on this that you haven't actually made any money because you're still trying to figure out this yourself. So I've been in those shoes before, and I'm just telling you like it is, that it's probably better to outsource it. Now, if you do go outsource it, if you go to videohive.net as you can see here, videohive.net, you can actually get elements that can be used within the video sales letter. So you can get more animations, things that you can use to make things interesting in your video sales letter. So I would just go here and browse around. The next thing I would personally do is I would go to odesk.com. You can go to elance.com, that's fine, or even guru.com. The purpose of going here is to find somebody who is already familiar with these tools that I just showed you, and is familiar enough that they can take your video sales letter script and turn it into an appealing video sales letter using these technologies. And while I can do it myself, I'd rather somebody else do it, because through experience, you don't really make money by doing it yourself. You make more money by getting the video sales letter done ASAP, and then you start promoting it. That's the way you make money and build your business, build your nonprofit, get your word out. It takes a month or two to get your video sales letter done. If you're trying to do it yourself, then that's probably not the best way to go. So typically I go to odesk.com. You can type in here something like Powtoon. See if I can find somebody who is familiar with using Powtoon. So generally what I do is I choose 4.5 stars and above. Typically at least 1 hour. So that means that they have actual work and work being done on odesk.com. And then from this point, I just basically look at all these profiles and go from there and pick and choose somebody who is actually familiar with Powtoon or with VideoScribe. And these tools have actually been out for many years. So there are many people out there who actually understand how to use it effectively. Powtoon is a little bit complicated. It's easy to use, but when I used it, it was just a little bit complicated. And I was like, well, I know how to use video. I know how to edit video, but is it really, as far as time and money and return on investment goes, is it really worth it to do it myself? I ended up hiring somebody, a couple $100, and then I made that money back because I spent the rest of the time promoting that video sales letter. Now, had I spent 2 months on it, I would have lost a lot of time, which ends up being money in the end. So if you can mix these technologies with your written sales letter, then you will actually increase your sales conversions. So hopefully that helps you. You were able to figure out the exact resources that I have used and highly recommend over the years. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about when you should use text and when you should use screen capture video. All right, let's move on.